So yeah, this is it's a midweek video. It's just one of them I just kind of, I suppose doing it for my own therapy really. It's just, there's not sciencey or anything like that, but it's just a relationship I have, let's say, with fragrance and mood and where I'm at. There probably won't be that many specific fragrances kind of mentioned in this, and I'll try and structure it as much as I can. It's more just one of them chatty videos and that, and just our different relationships with fragrance, and sometimes we can drift kind of off and that. And obviously it's going to cover mental health issues, which, is not for everyone, and not everyone needs to hear me moan on and stuff, but it's just, yeah, I've been struggling a lot recently, and I've noticed that my relationship and what have you with fragrance has kind of moved for the moment anyway. So yeah, I'll get on. I was saying it's structure, but we'll start with a more kind of positive thing with fragrance that I noticed, and where a lot of my relationship over the last few years with it must have come from because of what's happened. As we know, I absolutely despise talking about my personal life and stuff, because yeah, it's your personal life, isn't it, really? But I mean, we'll get more into this as it goes on, but over a year ago and that, I got into a relationship, and this is focusing around the kind of the happy side of stuff. What I noticed is that, not that I stopped enjoying fragrance or I stopped wearing fragrance, it just kind of became less of a thing. I'd still buy the odd one, not much. But what I noticed was fragrance was just what I'd wear to impress, or for kind of, everyday, because we do everyday kind of comfort kind of things, and so like for example, it's when I got into Chanel a bit more, just easygoing, quick spray on fragrances, and just that kind of thing. But I suppose the point of mentioning it in this video, which is important, is I don't know if it's fair to say I lost interest, but it just became less of a thing to me. And I think I'm not the only one who feels like this in this video. Maybe the whole fragrance kind of, go as far as an addiction, the whole fragrance heavy thing is because something's missing and we're filling it. I mean, those fragrance people, I'm not saying it's completely healthy, but we're filling it with something to fill a hole. We want that thing to kind of be consumed by something that gives us pleasure, obviously, but it's not a class A drug, you know what I mean? It's more expensive than a class A drug, but we're filling a hole with something relatively healthy. And I think, again, like I say, I haven't lost interest in fragrance, and at the moment, we'll get to this kind of later, there's nothing there at the moment, but it kind of shows that, I suppose it's the same with all hobbies, isn't it? How hobbies are there to be enjoyed, but I suppose they can start to consume you a bit, and we can get too far into it because it just fills that gap, that hole. So yeah. And the next bit, not getting too personal, I don't want to get too deep into it, but ended up caring for my partner's parents, which was a very stressful time. We're not going to go into that. That's just what you do, when you love someone, and their family's important. Anyway, the point of this is at that point again, I noticed I don't think I ever wore anything at any point, and watching them deteriorate and things, and then them die was really, really, really heavy. It was so much, obviously, to do with, and the exhaustion and the sadness and everything overwhelmed. So I found myself, it was very rare, if at all. I mean, really, the caring was over like probably a 6-month period, but as they rapidly declined, it was and passed away, it was a month and a half, maybe 6 weeks at a push. I couldn't wear anything, and that again is because of the more we're into this, it's more that connection, isn't it? It's that kind of we don't want to remember this. We don't want to remember these times. We don't want to smell it and be brought back to all that pain and sadness. And I don't know if it's anyone else. I mean, sometimes I'd wear for less serious things to cheer me up and things for comfort. But with this, genuinely, it was so hard. And again, but this is kind of contradicting a little bit the last one. It's because fragrance means so much to me, because it was our escape, because it was, well, for me, filled that hole. I didn't want bad associations with it. I didn't want to kind of besmirch it, to change that comfort ever coming from it. And so yeah, that's one stage. And obviously mixed with that was a deep grief. Even at the funerals, it took me a long time to pick what to wear. Yeah, and it was kind of, for a mum's funeral, I wore her favourite flower. I wore Lily of the Valley, didn't I? And I suppose I should name it, isn't it? Love and Tears, which obviously there's a connection there as well, isn't there? And then for a dad's, I think I just wore, I think I wore his Sauvage, because it was his Sauvage, and you know, and he enjoyed it and that. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to, again, I don't know if I'll be able to wear them fragrances without being sad ever again. But yeah, that's kind of that relationship. And then next, she decided to want to be with me, which is understandable given everything, you know, she's gone through. I mean, that ain't the half of it, what we've gone through there. But again, I don't want to get too personal. There was never anything bad between us, just understandable. But for me, we all have relationship breakdowns. Some we take hard, some, you know, whatever. But this time it completely, utterly has destroyed me. And I think it's important to say that, because we all suffer with mental health conditions, and I'm being a lot kinder to myself in this video than I am in real life. I promise you that. But it's similar to a death, isn't it? It's a deep feeling of grief. You know, we'll be honest, because otherwise there's not much point doing this video, is there? I'm barely sleeping because I'm terrified to go to bed, because I don't want to think about her. I have to eat because of my medication. If I didn't, I doubt I would eat. I've lost 2 stone. I am struggling all the time, every day. And there's still that big black cloud. It's been a couple of months now, and it still weighs on me, and I'm not, you know, this is trigger warnings again. The thought has crossed my mind an awful lot, and it's not just that, you know, not to get the violins out. Life ain't always been kind, and it's like the final straw, and it's the fact, you know, it's kind of it doesn't matter what you do in life, or, you know, if you things are, we don't have any control over how things work out, and stuff like that. And that's what's really pushed me to a point where I am rock bottom and that now. But again, nobody needs work. I don't need, this is not for pity or sympathy. I absolutely do not want that, because people have got worse things in their life going on. And I am like waiting for some counselling, and, you know, I've upped my medication and stuff. So, you know, I am dealing with it to a point. It's hard every day. And anyway, how this relates to fragrance, I can't wear fragrance at all. I just cannot. Again, I don't want to associate it with this. I don't see a way out of this deep black hole that I'm in. I'll be honest with you. But You know, it's the old shitty cliches that only time, etc. Maybe, who knows? Maybe some things stay with you forever, and we know that we're not naive. You know, I'm slowly trying to spray the odd thing again, but it's more a kind of generic fragrance I'm going for. It's one, you know, an old one that you're used to. It's one that has absolutely no connection to anything because it's too painful. And again, you don't want to be brought back to these times in years to come, which again, despite what I said in the first one, kind of shows how special our escape is, how special that thing that's filling our hole is. So yeah, it's been very deep with that, but that's kind of the gist. It's this almost fear as well of the power of fragrance, because we don't forget. I suppose, like I said, whether we move on or not is irrelevant, but I suppose the pain won't always be this deep. Or it might be, I mean, you know. And I particularly wanted to mention this because, again, people don't talk, we don't admit the problems we have. And if you watch my videos, I've covered this kind of similar topic before. I've carried depression, well, my whole life. It's clinical depression. There ain't no cure for it. I just kind of manage it, and then like another straw on top of it is broken me. I'm talking about it, so I'm gonna be okay, aren't I? I will dig myself out the hole just because I have to, and that's one of the things is acceptance, isn't it? Same with all grief. I can't change anything, and I can't do anything about it. You can't get back what's gone. It's easier said than done, and it's okay to struggle. It's okay to fail. It's okay to not be okay, isn't it? And I think that's really important. And again, with our fragrances, maybe I am doing the right thing by not wearing anything, so I'm never brought back to this moment, this pain, this agony and stuff. So yeah.
It is important to say as well that for something to hurt so much, to break your entire world, it's clearly something very special and worth it, because we don't give everything. Without it, do we? That's love.
So yeah, that's it. I've tried to keep it. It's brief. It's not long and waffly. It's like I say, it's a bit of therapy for me to kind of just say it, but also I don't have responsibility to anyone or anything like that, as we know. But as a man, and the men I know, I can't say this in all situations. I know it's something that we do not talk about. We don't open up. I struggle to open up to really anyone about this kind of thing, especially about how low I'm feeling. Again, because the last thing I want is pity or sympathy, or absolutely the last thing I need. That's not going to help anything. I also don't need the cliches or the kick up the backside. None of us are stupid when we're going through this. That's not having a go at anyone who tries to comfort us with this. Oh, plenty more fish and things move on, and it's been a lot to deal with in the last year for me. I know there's a lot more worse things going on in the world, etc. Not naive, but this is my pain. And again, like I was going back to, someone out there might be going through this and suffering alone. And one of the things you think, even me, when I can be quite open, is how pathetic and weak you feel. That's not the case. Like I say, in reality, I'm not being this kind to myself. But I do know that that's not the case. One second. And again, it doesn't... It's people can say all this stuff to you. You can think it yourself, it's just one of them things. These things happen and life goes on and stuff. Believe me, well, we all know, because everyone here has been through a breakup. maybe perhaps not as deep or whatever, but it's irrelevant, and it doesn't just go away. It doesn't just stop. You can't just move on, and sometimes I've had bad breakups before where it's lingered a long time. But like I say, all the circumstances around us were a lot anyway, and I suppose it's just kind of hit me harder than I imagined anything else ever could, and that's okay. Can't change anything, but it's okay, and it's okay for us to feel this way, and that's kind of the point. We all suffer different forms of grief. This isn't just about that breakup. Like I said, there's deaths there as well, and so yeah, that's enough of me waffling on. What about you? How are you? I mean, this is a fair point. Do you wear fragrances when you're really happy? I mean, you might do without thinking about it, but when something else consumes your life in a good way, in a positive way, do you start to question the whole kind of fragrance thing? What was I just filling a hole? And then, do you wear fragrances when you feel grief? I can understand that. Some people might, but do you actively try to avoid the memory and the connection? Because again, we know how powerful fragrance can be. And yeah, this was a strange video. I just thought I'd put out again. If one person out there goes, I'm really struggling, at least it's not just me. And I'd advise you, it's been hard for me, but speak to someone professional. Because again, with the people we know, we sugarcoat things, we hide things. With a professional, it's their job. And yeah, we're still waiting for it too long, but it will come, and hopefully they understand where we're at. They know they're not just full of platitudes or what have you. And again, yeah, the medication, if it needs numbing because it's so bad, then it needs numbing because it's so bad. You wouldn't not take a paracetamol or painkillers if you broke your leg, would you? It's just, yeah. Alright, thanks for watching. If anyone does, I mean, I don't know what the point of this video was. I could have gone a lot kind of more objective, looked at some data about this and stuff, but I haven't. It's just my video, my story, I suppose. Right, folks, thanks for watching. And also, just to add, I think most people would have guessed, that's why there's a lot less content from me, both ways. I've just struggled, well, really struggled to make it, and then obviously when I was happy I was doing things that made me happy. So yeah, anyway, right folks, thanks, bye.